This is Crystal Beast, a set that feels really special and unique. Why is that? Well, let's discuss that in today's video. Plus, we're going to highlight how you can use the pieces that come in this set to build your own LEGO creations. And then we'll finish off by taking a look at some revamps of this wonderful set. Let's check it out. I mean, look at this color scheme. Trans blue armor mixed in with black and lime green? Ooh, fancy. This set really stood out from the crowd. All those other kaiju monsters within this wave, they had a similar shape and look, but they all had solid colors. This one was almost totally translucent. That's cool. When I first laid eyes on this character as a kid, I got the sense he was special, like he was important. He reminded me of the legendary Crystal Onyx from Pokemon. Or, it felt like finding a shiny Pokemon. Maybe that's why he was a unique color. I don't know, just looking at them, it felt like they were some kind of legendary creature with mythical properties to them. The sort of thing that you'd only ever heard of in rumors and whispers, and few know of its whereabouts. And I kind of love that idea. A mythical creature lurking below. Cryptids, folklore, all that kind of stuff. And even though none of that was actually true within the lore of Hero Factory, they still look epic. Trans blue crystalline armor, that's so cool. Maybe I love it so much because I grew up in the age of translucent technology, where computers and Game Boys, they had that kind of see-through casing which lets you see all the electronics inside. I loved those. And I guess that's why I love the translucent armor on this guy. Isn't it fun that unique colors can just ignite your imagination on fire? It's so easy to come up with your own stories and adventures when a character looks this different. So yeah, I like this set. But the pieces that come with it, how could you use those to customize your own LEGO creations? Let's find out. In this set, you get these quasar spikes in a marbled lime green and black. If you want them in these colors, well, you can only get them in this set. Bionicles, they've used them for a sweet leg design. I mean, that's just sick, isn't it? So, if you're making a spider or some type of creepy crawly or something like this, use this design. It's dope. And, lime and black is always very pretty. Crystal Beast uses two of these foot pieces on their feet. Now, the way they're used on the set, they're just put on there. There's nothing placed onto any of those bar connections up front. Nice and plain. But remember, you can use these like Velociraptor has done on this Godzilla mock. Attaching claws and clips onto the bottom of the feet, and then placing a little bit of armor on top as well. Hey, when you add lots of parts onto this piece, it looks so much better than it already did. I guess if you're building some type of kaiju, this piece is the perfect element to use for a foot design. Whether you leave it totally blank like the set does, or if you armor it up a little bit. There's just a lot of creative possibilities. Over to the next piece that we'll be discussing, it's this printed torso piece. Look at the printing that they've got going on. It looks kind of like muscles, or it also kind of looks like scales at the same time. It's interesting. Les L822, they place this on the torso of their own creation. And I love how they've combined this part with other elements that share similar printing and stickers. This is a nice reminder that if you have a bunch of printed pieces, maybe you could just shove them all together and put them on one mock. Because in unison like this, it makes for something quite impressive. Now, where do all these printed pieces come from? Well, the headpiece, this was used on the set Scorpio. It's also used on the head just behind the mask. I like this part. And then these stickered shoulder pieces, they appear on the mighty Umurak the Destroyer. We see them on his chest. How nice is this? The set includes a minifigure version of Bulk and this egg pod as well. I love these minifigure designs. And yeah, that egg pod still to this day is one of the strangest LEGO pieces, but there's some pretty good ways that you can use it. For example, if you were to just use one part of it, you could do what Forge of Artaka has done on this revamp of Kazani. They're using it as a kind of loincloth. I like how this pairs with all of the other plant life pieces that have just been scattered around the legs and the arms. All these different pieces together, it makes for quite a fun aesthetic. Very interesting. And finally, we got Crystal Beast's headpiece. How could this be used? Well, Dylan Meaves has used it for a nice hammer design on their Ikimu mock. Dude, this looks dope. The spiky look up the front that then just flows back into this headpiece, which gives it a more angular and pointed look. You know, this makes this weapon look so much more graceful, powerful, and mighty. It's a very well designed weapon, and it's all thanks to this piece. Now, also, a lot of this MOC is using trans light blue armor and CCBS bones. We get a fair bit of that in this set. Nothing wrong with just doing exactly what the set does and building a MOC that has armor in this color, much like we see here. So there's a few different ways that you could use the parts and pieces that come in this set. But what about if you want to revamp Crystal Beast? Well, here's 3 ideas for how you could do so. Lebark1234 has taken the concept of this set, but turned them into a dinosaur. Mate, this is great. Who would have thought that the head and the other parts from this set would look this good on a dinosaur body? I mean, the way that the lime and the black spikes flow down the back, that's great. And seeing it hunched over and roaring like this, it has so much presence. And look at that trans blue mace piece that's there on the upper leg. That kind of helps continue that crystalline vibe. It looks all jagged and sharp, like you would probably see on shards of crystals. Good inclusion. Clockwork Guardian has their own take on Crystal Beast, and this one sticks a little bit closer to the original set. No drastic changes to the body. As we can see, they've buffed up the armor just that little bit more, and made them, well, yeah, more well-armored and a little bit less skinny. And I think this suits the character quite nicely. All this nice shaping and the armor, it makes them look compact and well-built. And I get the sense that they now have kind of rhino-like skin that's very tough and hard to damage. And you know, if this dude's made out of diamonds or something, then they would have pretty tough skin. I feel like this new aesthetic on the MOC fits that vibe very well. It's very smart to make the aesthetic of this armor reflect the properties of diamonds. Oh yeah, and take a look at this printed piece on the top of the back. This armor part comes from the set Quake Beast, this one right here. You can of course see it right there on their chest, but let's take a closer look at this piece. It literally has crystals all over it, which makes it a pretty good fit for this character. Great choice to include it on the MOC. And finally, let's check out Crystal King Beast, a revamp that turns them into a dragon. You know, I mentioned before how this character and this concept feels so legendary. Well, turning them into a dragon, that makes them feel even more like a mythical beast of legend. They have the same energy as, you know, when you encounter a legendary Pokemon in the Pokemon games. It just seems like he holds such great power. Now look at this trans blue CCBS armor that's layered all across the front of the chest. What a fun way to armor up the belly. It looks like dragon scales. These wings also look pretty awesome. The thicker limbs, the rounded belly. Mate, this rocks. And that is the legendary Crystal Beast. What a good set. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this miraculous set. And if you enjoyed taking a look at some of the MOCs that I showcased today, then take a look at the links in the description below. You can see links to those builders' social media right there. Go and check it out. Otherwise, thank you for watching, happy building, and bye for now.